Hello, Chef Marcus Guiliano here, and I'm your chef on a mission. Today's mission is business. We're going to talk more about partnerships, the dark side of partnerships. I've done 2 previous videos to this and hopefully going to do a couple more. I want to share my experience with you so that nobody else makes the same mistakes that I did. Some of these mistakes were very, very costly, and the one I'm going to talk about right now is costing me a lot of money. It still costs me money every single week. I can't even begin to put a price tag on this. A couple years back, I got involved with a partner. And it was actually an investor who turned out into being a partner. So there's a difference with an investor and a partner. If you're a chef and you own a business, or you're a chef and you want to branch out and open another restaurant, or you're a chef that wants to get into the restaurant business, you don't necessarily want a partner. You want an investor or investors. You want people that are going to give you money, that are going to trust you with your money, but not be involved in the day-to-day operations or be sitting there hounding you to make these decisions or those decisions. See, those are just basically silent partners, silent or an investor, actually. A partner is somebody who you bring in to actually partner in a business and operate a business. Now, like I said, there's been a lot of successful partnerships, but you have to have a majority partner and then a minority partner or 2 minority partners, however it is. Somebody needs to be in charge and the boss. So now in my situation, my partner's my wife. Somebody made a comment that, no, your wife's not your partner, your wife is your boss. And that's how I feel a lot of times, it just, really my wife is my boss. But she's my partner. Technically, she's my partner. And we do get along very, very well in the business. I leave certain things to her and she leaves certain things to me. She knows it's my expertise and I know that's her expertise or her passion or her side. So like I handle the kitchen, she handles catering, she handles the front of the house. We do the wine list together. I'm more passionate about wine, but she loves wine just as much. Just not quite the knowledge I have on wine. So she looks for my lead on the wine. But then she tells me that we can't afford to buy the wine. So then that's, how that partnership works. Because she does the finances of the restaurant. So partnerships versus investors. So I had originally gotten an investor who wanted nothing to do with the restaurant and then all of a sudden wanted everything to do with the restaurant and didn't invest enough money. However, the way we set it up was we picked a name and it was my idea, dumb idea. It was my idea at the time to name the restaurants after our fathers. Okay, so our fathers were the name of the restaurant. Now, I should have had something in a contract at some point because my father is my identity. Okay, that's what I was bringing to that was one of the things that was could identify me as being part of the restaurant. Was my father's name is up there, his father's name is up there. So I should have had something that said if we were to ever split ways, that the name of the restaurant has to change. To this day, this has been 2 years now, a little over 2 years, I think. Just today, in front of my staff, somebody walked into the restaurant and he goes, "Oh yeah, you're involved in the restaurant across the street from you." And I looked at my staff member and I said, "I see, this happens every week to me. Every single week, people come to me and saying, 'Oh yeah, I'm going to your other restaurant.'" I see people on the trails. This happened this fall time. I was on the trails here at Minnewaska and Sam's Point, and one person actually stopped me and said, "Oh yeah, you're the guy from that." I'm like, "No, that's not my place." But the way we marketed and branded it, it was our father's name. So people know my father around town. And they know, obviously they know his name. So it's very confusing for people to see that name association. So if you're going to name, so I guess the theme of this video is picking a name for your business that if you ever do part ways, you have some kind of plan to rename it and rebrand it and re-identify it. Hey, if you have a partner that you want out, because he's doing illegal things and it's tarnishing the restaurant name, you want to be able to say, "Hey, you're leaving, and I need to change the name of the restaurant because I don't want to be associated with you anymore." In my case, I'm leaving. I have a lot of business equity in here. I have a lot of reputation in here, and my father's on the name. The restaurant name needs to be changed immediately so that association is totally gone. And I'm still fighting that association. I'm fighting that association big time. People come to me and go, "Marcus, I go to your other restaurant." I'm like, "It's not my other restaurant." They're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that. I had no idea." I get that for the first year, it happened literally like twice a week. Twice a week it was happening. Now it happens probably every 2 weeks, maybe every 3 weeks. Somebody will say that. For a while, it was happening like clockwork. This last summer, a guest came up to me. It was a 7 top. and I didn't have room for him. I was packed. Didn't have room for him, or at least 7 people at one table. And I said, you know, it's going to be a half an hour wait. And she looked at me. She goes, "No problem, Marcus. I'm going to go to your other restaurant. No problem." And this is a year and a half later, going on 2 years. She goes, "No problem. I'm just going to go to the other restaurant. Let me make a phone call and have everybody meet us there." And I'm like, "I don't have another restaurant." She goes, "You don't?" "Yes, you do. Yes, you do." And I said, "No, I don't." And I explained this, so I'm not involved with it anymore. She goes, "I had no idea, Marcus. I've been going there. I had no idea." I said, "You know what? Wait here. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something to get you in my doors right now to keep you from 7 people. 7 times 40 is $280 that's flying out of my pocket. And who knows how often that's happening, right?" So rebranding that restaurant should have been a total must. It should have been a total stipulation in a contract if we had ever part ways to rebrand, rename, and get my name off there. So then it'll at least people to spark the question of like, okay, this is a new restaurant. This is a new name. This is new ownership, new management. And, you know, biggest mistake I ever made. You know, that table right there alone would have cost me $300, $400. And if that's happening once a week, if I'm losing $500 once a week, you know, do the math on that. If I'm losing $1,000 a week, do the math on that. You know, it's very detrimental to my business, something like that. But you know, again, I made these mistakes, and there's some things that I did really good in partnerships. There's some things I did really good in my business here that, of course, I try to share that. And you go to 50mistakes.com. There's a lot of information there for you to take, a lot of positive stuff. I don't really mean to be negative on this video, but I cannot stress enough the dark side of partnerships. And I'll do a video talking about the good side of partnerships, because there's a lot of partnerships that, like I said, that work very, 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 very well. I'm just throwing up some red flags that happened in my partnership that really failed, that hopefully anybody watching this will say, "Duh, I'm not going to make that mistake. I'm not going to do it, Marcus." And I thought I had it all figured out, by the way. I thought I had everything figured out. You know, you're best friends with somebody for 10 years. When you go into a partnership, whether it's with family, whether it's with the best friend, whether it's with whoever, you have to have everything so laid out. So laid out. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano. Thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please hit like, subscribe, and pass it on.